is crazy.
Badass.
But I live in a house with somebody who's also essential, and so his essential coworkers are at my party. So it's kind of like all hell's loose.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. So what do you do? I don't know.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Oh wait, Fish is gone. Now where'd Fish go?
He left. He said, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Wait,
Yeah, he saw it. He was like, I don't want anything to do with this.
He saw his picture on. He's like, "I'm fucking done with this."
what happened?
Can you
He, like,
blame him? He saw your fucking
Wait.
fireplace. Thought you were trying to take him home.
Oh, there he is.
He went to go.
Oh, Dan
Isn't that
exploded.
her?
Look at the fireplace. I love it. That's great.
All right,
There
Fish
he is.
All right.
Is a handsome devil. Fish, I love the hair. You got a nice little afro going, brother.
Yeah.
I thought you had an explanation for a second there.
Oh, you shamed him into putting a hat on.
Oh, come on. I can't even see him. What's going on? Oh, there he is. All right. Oh, I got a weird view going on where I can't see all. All right, there we go. That's better.
I got like everybody across the top.
You got like on the Zoom on my phone, the like fifth person is on the other screen.
Oh, that's
right.
the worst.
Yeah.
I just had to change that so I could see Fish's beautiful face.
Yeah, get mine out of there. Just put Fish right in.
I keep trying, but yours keeps popping up. I don't know what to do.
You want me to shut our camera off?
Yeah. Shut my visual off. Get Fish in. It'll be much better.
Nicole, you're the talent, and we all know that.
Guys, I already said when I initially talked to Andy, I was like, please tell me I don't have to pretend to be positive because I have nothing positive to say.
What the hell is Dan morphing into
I was
right
like,
now?
what is Dan doing?
I tried to put a picture of the tiger behind me. It didn't work.
Yeah, dude, don't do that again. Freaking me out.
Yeah, so
You're the only one that got a warning. I was going to try to do that.
Dude, look, I love the tiki
Did
cup.
you, where'd you get that cup, Dan?
He's got a tiki cup, a fireplace.
You ever heard of Hong Kong's in Faneuil Hall? You get blackout drunk there enough, they give you a cup.
I've seen that cup. It's not at Hong Kong. I've seen it at like New Tokyo.
they don't give you
before I
the
was
cup when they
21
throw you
years
out. They
old.
forget to take it back.
I just want to know where in the world
Handicap,
Fish
man.
is right now. Fish is in daylight right now, and I want to know where in the world he is. Like,
Yeah.
He left the country.
yeah, I was gonna say, dude. Jesus, dude, you're the most mysterious person ever. How are you in daylight right now?
I'm not?
It's pretty obvious you are.
No, it's just all the lights in the room are like on that side of me.
He has one of those fancy ring lights.
That's a practical, uninteresting answer. Just tell us where
I've
you
fled
are.
the country. I'm sheltering in New Zealand.
Yeah, that's all right. That
Please.
makes more sense. That's what I
Other
wanted to hear.
Honestly, I used to like the J.J. Abrams lens flares that you used to have going on there, Fish. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I can't sit like that for more than like half an hour without my back giving out.
No one wants your back to give out.
Yeah. You carry the load, Fish.
I like being able to stand up and walk and stuff.
Why?
Not actually doing it, but being able to.
You're not
It's
committed
really
to
nice.
this podcast.
Yep.
Sorry, what?
So I assume we're gonna talk about the issue at hand, right?
How Karen's now
yeah.
a racial slur.
Unfortunately, one
How
would
Fish is in daylight.
Yes.
No.
How is one in daylight?
Are you gonna, Andy? Are you gonna introduce the Bar Talk podcast per usual, or
Yeah, I'll do the opening. But I just want to make sure that that we, I mean, like no one ever asked me what the topic is. I feel like we all just knew.
right?
So
Right.
Right.
We're gonna talk about Tiger King.
yes, yeah.
I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched
Oh,
it?
what?
No.
Listen.
Honestly, neither have I yet.
I've been playing Final Fantasy. I have no interest.
Playing the same
I've been
level
working.
fucking 100 times.
And working, yeah.
Yeah, that was like the loneliest picture you posted today.
I was having a tough.
Oh, buddy.
I had a tough day today.
Yeah.
I had a tough day.
Jordan,
I'm here.
I honestly I cried last night on my way home from work, so I literally read your host today. And I was like, I feel that because I cried last night.
Well, let's do the opening
Thank
and
you.
then we'll get into Jordan.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, let's not spoil all the content.
Yeah. And
I don't want to spoil any content.
whoever makes Nicole cry on the podcast.
Let me bare my soul while we're recording, please.
Come on, guys,
Hey,
start
guys,
drinking again for this. So.
Can I actually top off my beverage real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
What a rookie.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
2, I got 4.
Or what?
I wish there was like a filter
Drinks, I'm
on
off
this,
the wagon.
but we'll just go with it. I've had like a little bit we're having, like I said, we're having a house party, so like it's been a thing. It's been a night.
Well, I started off with whiskey and I'm onto beers now, so.
Oh,
I
good.
went from tequila to spilling a glass of wine to Truly. So
I don't think
Actually
you get to
gonna pee
count the
real
one you
quick, too.
spilled. Jesus, Jordan. Divas. There's always divas.
That's always the talent.
I know.
So-
I'm like, should I get a backup Truly? Probably not. No one needs to see me on a backup Truly.
No, I brought 2 beers with me, so I came
Yeah.
prepared.
You brought a backup?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I gotta get a backup.
You know, 2 beers.
Let me just get a backup. Let me get a backup.
We're going through the party.
Margaritaville is playing. Margaritaville is playing.
Hello, party.
It's a party. I told you it's a party.
Here you go, Andy. This is your most dedicated podcast person in the background for you.
Aw, snarl. Thank you for showing us the beer supply.
I wanted to show you the fridge. All right. I'm running out of Margaritaville.
All right. Does anyone else need to pee? And I swear to God, I'm going to do like the intro and immediately have to go.
Andy, do you want to just go now?
No, I don't have to, but I just feel like I'm going to,
I feel like you're asking for me for some reason.
No, I said, does anyone? You weirdo?
I'm going to just pretend that it's never going to happen. Okay.
All right.
I'm back.
Jordan's back.
We're all back.
I
Everyone
shook
have
it more
their-
than twice.
Nice.
Is anybody not like, is there anybody's lighting not good? Is everybody okay?
I'm good. I got my fireplace going.
Well,
Dude. No one's gonna top Dan.
yeah. We're not
No
like,
one's gonna
right?
I
top
don't think
Dan.
we're releasing this as a video. I think it's just going
Doesn't matter.
We're not?
This is for me. It's not for you.
This is just, I mean, maybe we will. I don't know. Who knows?
It might be cool. I don't know. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
We'll put it up. We'll see what happens.
This is gonna
Okay.
take a little bit of
As
adjustment.
Nicole like
We'll figure
reclines
it
and
out.
fluffs her hair.
I'm reclined.
Be
I
like,
gotta get comfortable. I hear you talking. Everybody's gonna see me.
Just falls asleep mid-podcast.
it's all divas.
Falls
Place you
asleep,
home.
passes out.
I don't have to pretend I'm not drinking. We're not at the craft beer cellar.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. I wish we were.
Edit that part out, Fish.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I didn't know we were recording right now. Fish,
Yeah.
definitely edit that part out. I bought these from the craft beer cellar though.
Oh, nice. Oh, how are those? Those are seltzers, right?
They're not my favorite seltzer taste-wise, but they're
Yeah.
0 carbs, and I'm still doing that crazy keto thing. So pretty awesome
What
for that.
seltzers
They
in your
taste really
favorite?
good. What's that?
What's not your favorite?
Well, they're not my favorite tasting-wise, the bestie. But
There you go.
I've
Now we
never
can see
even
it.
seen that one.
no, they're good. Yeah, you can get them at craft beer cellar, and they're 0 carbs.
You
So
can
they're
come
not
in
1,
Saturday
okay.
and
they're not
buy
3.
some and visit Andy
Yeah.
while he's stuck there.
Yeah, when you're an alcoholic like me and you drink 12 in a day and you can only have 15 carbs, 0 carbs is very important.
Very good. Very helpful. Yes, I get that. Listen, I kind of want to save this thought for when we're recording. Are we
Okay, okay.
recording?
Well, let me do the intro, and then you can have your.
All right, do the intro. Go ahead. We'll be here all
I
night.
have thoughts. I have thoughts worth being recorded.
All right. Welcome back, listeners, to the Bar Talk podcast. Unfortunately, we are all recording from our homes today instead of the usual craft beer cellar, Mayflower, wherever we normally record, for obvious reasons. And I am joined today by Jordan Chabot of the still open Speedwell Tavern.
Barely, but I'm here. Hello, everybody.
Dan Mahoney is Stats still open?
Oh, we're full time, buddy.
Yeah, Stats is still open. Also with Nicole Souza, sort of 3V currently like pitching in at Mamma Mia's, right?
3V closed. I'm pitching in a Mamma
Joey.
Mia. Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
Jordan
Oh,
Jordan had a kid, everybody.
Yeah.
We have
Julie
proof.
wants to see what's going on.
Uh,
Sorry to interrupt the intro.
that's okay.
Love it.
And Fish of Inebriart, who's always here but sometimes speaks and sometimes doesn't.
I have a microphone again. I get to talk.
Yeah, and
I didn't know if
myself.
you wanted to talk.
Well,
It depends on how much I had to
baseball or
drink.
Star Trek or anything. And myself, Andy of Inebriart, will be hosting today. And obviously, we all got together. Actually, Carl was the one who really pushed for this, and he's not here. But to
Busy
talk,
boy.
to talk about the shitstorm that we're in the middle of. So I believe Nicole had a thought that she was saving.
Not this shitstorm. All right, sorry, Nicole. Go ahead.
That's okay. The thought that I was in, we were just talking about like drinking right now. And my local liquor store is doing curbside. And the first time I did curbside with them, because I'm doing curbside takeout as a manager, the kid was so nice and came to my passenger side door, and I just handed him a 20, and I was like, listen, I'm in the same place as you. This is tough. I appreciate you. You're not I'm in an industry that right now, when you order takeout, the receipt is printed, it still leaves a spot for a tip. When you go to the liquor store, it's an industry where they're adding an extra service. They're not a normal tip industry, but they're adding an extra service. So he came to my door. He was so nice. And I was like, listen, here you go. Here's a 20. I appreciate you. I'm in the same spot as you. Take it, whatever. And he was like, thank you so much. We're all going to go have a shot with this. So just like my thought is good karma, put it back into the people who ordinarily are not getting tipped, adding an extra service. The thing is that being essential right now, all your friends that, don't have a job are like, oh, be so happy you have a job, whatever. It's a lot of work. So anybody who's essential, just remember to keep in perspective that even though they're happy to have a job, it's 10 times harder than it normally is for them. So your liquor store people, anybody who's delivering that doesn't ordinarily deliver, keep them in mind. Maybe throw them a tip if you can. They'll appreciate it.
Amen. Amen.
Absolutely. That's a super valid point. I remember I'm on furlough, which is basically laid off. And when they were kind of teetering on what they were going to do, I was both like, I'm going to be pissed if I don't have a job. And the same aspect is they better not try to say what I'm doing is essential. It's this weird,
right.
There's no good answer.
There's none. No.
I mean, of all the essential workers, we got to be super empathetic towards the ones in healthcare. I mean, they're legitimately on the front lines every day. They're putting themselves at the most risk of anybody. And I try to be empathetic of that and take that into perspective before I react as a restaurant guy. But I guess everybody's negative is their own and everybody's positive is their own too. And I know this is an industry podcast. Put that ahead as a little disclaimer. We're not discounting anything that healthcare workers or first responders are doing by any means. They are the real heroes here. But
Jordan,
this is an industry podcast, and we're talking industry.
But before Jordan, I'm going to interrupt you there because, I mean, and this is not poo-pooing on anything they do, and you guys know I don't like to compliment Fish, but I think the real unsung heroes are the grocery store workers. They're putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
They're out there just as much, and for next to no pay. Right. If you're a doctor, you're making buku bucks. if you're, the cashier at a grocery store, you're making minimum wage and your life is just
right. And that's one extreme to another. I mean, it's not all just doctors working in the hospitals with these people. They're techs, there are nurses. There are plenty of other different positions.
Think about the janitors in the hospitals.
Yeah.
Right,
There's
exactly.
People cleaning, like mopping the floors in the hospitals.
Right. And people. Yeah,
that's an essential thing, and
more than
that's
ever
a minimum wage for what I assume is low wage job, but necessity.
Right, exactly. They're keeping the place clean. They're just as they're as important as the whole thing. It's not an individual positional thing.
Right.
Like everybody in the hospital is equally as important right now. And then to Andy's point, the grocery store worker who we all take for granted every single day, much before this. I am as guilty of it as anybody else. I've actually, like we just expect people to restock the shelves and for everything to be there for us the next day. And we're learning now that's, sometimes not going to be the case. Right. And we're super aware and concerned about healthcare workers getting masks and getting the things they need to take care of all these people that are infected by COVID-19, rightfully so. But meanwhile, we're calling grocery stores essential, and no one gives a shit if they've got masks, if they've got hand sanitizer. Right. And I don't know that I guess I'm kind of talking a little bit out of school and passionately. Maybe people do give a shit.
I feel the same. I went today to the grocery store and I felt like it is, because you see these posts that are like, oh, you're wearing gloves, but if you're touching the same thing over and over, and it's like, as a takeout person, you're trying to work, you're trying to do the best, but it's not in your normal routine. It's not in your normal consciousness. So I feel like the grocery store workers have to be in the same set of shoes. Like, they were laying down maps of what aisles you could go up, what aisles you could go down, mapping out 2 cart lengths, and that's not their norm. So we're all learning. We're like, I mean, that's not a job that you go to with gloves. It's not a job you go to with a mask. So anything like that, you can't take for granted the fact that we're all on a learning curve.
Right. Right. No one was prepared for this.
Oh, God,
no one. If anybody said they were ready for this, they're a fucking liar.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? I've seen Doomsday Preppers. I guarantee there's a half a dozen people who were seriously prepared for this, but they're kind of.
You know what? Yeah, actually, my Cisco sales rep definitely was prepared for this, and luckily him and I are very friendly. So if this gets really weird, I have somewhere to go for the zombie apocalypse. If he lets me, I don't know. He better let me in.
He's not gonna.
I'm putting his kids through college eventually, so he has to.
So
the amount of fucking chicken wings I order.
Let's start with the basic. Like, where's everybody at? Like, what is your current situation? And like, how has it changed? What were you doing on day one, or day -1 opposed to day one? Like,
I'm curious about Dan, because he's near the city. And there's way more shit going on up there, dude. How you holding up, kid?
Oh, good, man. I'm fucking busier than I have when it's regularly open. So I'm just doing so much to go. Like, we're not to have to do all that food that we're doing. And we're lucky. We're just pumping it all out, but no one else around us is open. So we have like 6 different delivery services coming through takeouts and stuff like that. So it's been a wild roller coaster of that. But like, I'm lucky. I said I'm still working full time. So it could be a lot worse, but
it's awesome.
Definitely weird to be in.
Is it like, do you get worried now because you're in the big city and, you're in Southie, but you're there. You're like, as far as infections go, I mean, that's the bigger cities where this stuff starts to go rampant. Are you starting to get worried because you are that busy that you guys get infected as a business? I mean, how are you handling that?
Honestly, like, I don't know if you saw like St. Patrick's Day weekend, South Boston's all over the news and all that stuff. I was working that night and I was on the news, and my capacity is that like I didn't get it then. My chances are gone a lot down since then. So like I went to work that Monday. I was like, I'm probably fucking sick now. Like that's it. There's so many people out, right? And luckily, knock on wood, I haven't got it. So it's kind of like at this point, there's so much separation from us, like the delivery guys, even people who do takeout. They're all doing a pretty good job of not doing it. So my exposure is very limited in that sense. Like, not that matters, but I don't feel like terrified every day going to work or anything like that. Like, definitely after making that 2 weeks. Yeah. So
that's huge.
But like I have masks, I have gloves, and all that. Not that, I mean, if you use them, you still can get it, but we're doing what we can to kind of be safe with it.
Oh, and that's awesome. I mean, it's funny because it's like all the things we learn when we got like our serve safe. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like, not the alcohol one, like the food one or manager or whatever. It's like, wash your hands, don't do this, don't do that. And now all of a sudden the rest of the world's starting to do it. Like, what do you mean? You haven't been doing this the whole fucking time?
You joked. I was like, my hands are burning from all the sanitizer and soap I use. Like,
yeah,
I had to go get like stuff to put on them because I just clean the shit off them. Like, I don't need skin anymore.
Right. I saw you with Snarls and Alicia the other day, and we were comparing sanitizer wounds.
Chemical burns.
But it's also
definitely weird.
Yeah.
It's also weird, like, if I have to run to the grocery store, the second I walk in, my nose has never been itchier.
Oh, I know.
Psychological, like, that you just feel that need to, like, touch your face, and you're like, no, I can't. And it's just...
It's like when you were in school and you weren't supposed to laugh at something and you were trying really hard not to get caught. And it was and you just, for whatever fucking reason, couldn't stop laughing.
Yep.
It's the same thing with the nose itch. Like,
you don't want to be a guy coughing around the grocery store either.
Yeah. You know you're not supposed to touch your face in public. But as soon as you get in public.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a fucking giant beard. I'm just sitting there going like this all the time. Like, fuck, I can't touch my face.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, I got the beard problem
like,
too.
Yeah.
When it's been curbside for us, it's like you're in the gloves and you're like, how many gloves am I going to go through a day? Because every time I go out, I go in. We're like trying our absolute best to sanitize everything. But at the same time, you're like, I can't keep up. And should I be like, you should be ridding yourself of old gloves and turning into new gloves. And at the same time, I know that gloves have gone up in price exponentially. So, you know, it's a very hard, like, and the other thing is when you're doing takeout, when you're doing curbside, we've been doing it since day one. So there's been a lot of progression. But our day oneers have been like, okay, now all of a sudden we're supposed to wear masks, but we've been sticking our faces in your cars and your trunks for 3 weeks. So we already feel sort of exposed and not like as high of a caliber as anybody in the medical industry. So we're all kind of like, do we slap the homemade mask on now after we've already been going out to the cars for weeks? Or is it irrelevant? You don't know. And we have the news on constantly while we're working, and it's like no answer, no definite answer. So it's a confusing, difficult time, and you're just trying to do your best.
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty in it too. You never know when you're gonna wake up and like, hey, everything's closed today, or
right.
You're locked in your house for 6 weeks. Like, that's the biggest thing. It's like, if I know what I have to expect, like, I can kind of plan around, but like, you never know. Like, it's a new thing every day.
Right.
I'm not under the impression from like, and first off, I would like to say, and politics aside, Governor Baker's been handling, as far as Massachusetts is concerned, Governor Baker's been handling this, I think, pretty great. Communicating
Can I
well.
say on a funny note? Like, yeah. I'm going to add a little comedic relief. Has anybody been watching the news where the sign language person
he's the best.
Super animated?
Well, they always are.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a great story.
Look at Governor Baker because I'm just transfixed on this sign language person, and I can't even do sign language. And I'm like, oh my God, this woman or man, they're so animated. Like,
they always are.
I'm not even looking at Charlie. I'm just looking at the sign language person.
I got a great story. There was a guy like 4 years ago that actually didn't know sign language.
Oh, I know exactly.
I remember that.
Do you know this story?
Yeah.
And he went on like, good, Andy. Do you know more?
Yeah. It was in South Africa. and it was at Nelson Mandela's funeral, and the guy's just like up there being like waving his
He
hands
made
around.
like thousands of fucking dollars. He just pretended to know sign language, and no one knew the difference.
That's all. Yes, that's all I can think of too. Every time I see somebody signing, and I feel for them. I feel for anybody who needs sign language. But it's just so it's so animating and it's so interesting to watch somebody do sign language next to the governor.
That dude's good though. That dude is good. We watch it at the bar and we have music blasting. We don't have the closed caption on. And I can tell you right now, I know everything Charlie Baker's saying just from watching that guy. Because it's, facial expressions and, I'm not deaf. I don't know sign language, but because that guy's so expressive, I know exactly what he's saying, dude. It's pretty rad. But he's kicking out. Charlie Baker's doing a great job. I mean,
100%.
I mean, professionally, I've been affected by some of his decisions, but I understand him, and I think he's making the right decisions. I mean, I am staying open for takeout a couple days a week. There's a part of me that feels guilty about that because I know essentially really the only way to snuff this thing is to all of us to stay in our room and our bedrooms for 2 or 3 weeks and then it's gone. But there's also a part of me that, I need to support my family. I've been given the blessing by Charlie Baker, by our governor, to stay open in a limited capacity. So I'm going to take advantage of that. We're being extremely careful. I'm using sanitizer. I sanitize the place every day with cleaning crew. After days we're open, that sanitize the entire place, that we pay a lot of money for to make sure people are safe. I'm doing it the right way. I'm sure most restaurants are. So I don't know. I guess I just feel guilty, conscious inside because I'm promoting people to leave their houses to come pick up food. But I'm also being told by the guy in charge, because this is up to a state level now. This isn't up to our federal level. The states are the ones, the president said it himself, the states are the ones making the decisions at this point on how they handle this. If Charlie Baker's telling me I can be open and I can sell takeout, I'm going to fucking do it, man. I'm more worried about starvation than I am and paying my rent than I am about fucking getting the flu. And it's not the flu, and I don't mean to downgrade it, but what evil?
Well, when you're essential, it becomes that.
Right, and I guess everybody's definition of essential is different, and I'm a little self-conscious about that.
I feel like Nicole is really loving the essential tag.
It's not great.
It's not great, and it's tough being I have a lot of friends who are out of work saying you're so lucky to be in work. You're so lucky to be essential. And I do. Part of me strongly feels like I am so happy that I continue to collect my restaurant salary. And the other half of me is but am I putting myself at risk every day being essential in the way I am? Because in the way I am doing curbside pickup. So I'm putting packaged meals in the front seat of their car while they're talking to me. They have their you never know if you're going to walk up to a car where somebody has gloves or a mask or if somebody doesn't care. So it's at the same time that you're lucky, you're slightly fearful too. I'm not a healthcare worker. I'm not in an environment where everything is, I don't know. You're not in an environment where everything is very cautious. You're in an environment where people are looking for their food. You're happy to give it to them, but at the same time, you're exposed. So it's a double-edged sword, I guess, as being essential as a restaurant takeout worker right now.
And this is one of the things I think people, I'm not essential, but the craft beer seller. Yeah, thanks.
Me, you are, buddy. I always will be.
But the craft beer cell is still open, and I've been getting one shift a week. And people are like, oh, I can't believe that they're still open. And there's a couple of reasons. First of all, I was talking to someone, they're like, can you imagine every hardcore alcoholic detoxing all at the same time, choking up the
You can die.
Yeah.
Legitimately, you can die.
And it would just choke up the emergency rooms even more. But the other thing is it's part of keeping our mental well-being. And the fact that I can go to the speed well, and even if I'm only there for 10 minutes just to go in, grab an order of wings, drop off an inebriate hat for Jordan.
Wait,
yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I put it on
What?
the table and everything.
Dude. You still hasn't got us our goddamn sweatshirts.
Hey,
I know. I have them.
That order is
I just
literally.
keep forgetting to give them to you.
But you know, to go in and just and have that 10 minutes of interaction with another person and get some takeout is huge. I went down and I sat at the waterfront in my car all by myself and ate, and it was a huge uplift to my spirits just to be like, hey, I'm out of the house. So I think that's just as important as, let me correct myself, it is not just as important as a doctor, but it is crucial to, keeping your
But it's tempering panic. And I think that everyone's biggest fear right now, besides the virus, is panic, because the only thing that can cause more damage than losing, 60,000 lives to this thing is panic. Like, people are going to lose their minds, and rightfully so, man. Like, people's lives have been shut down, their comfort levels, and not everybody's geared up for this shit. So if you take away their booze, you're gonna, people. All right, so say they shut us down tomorrow. Like, all right, no places with liquor licenses are allowed to be open starting tomorrow or Monday or whatever.
Can you imagine the rush?
You get this couple days. I'm gonna be broken into. Craft beer cell is gonna be broken into. Stats is gonna be broken into. 3B. The people are going to get their booze one way or another.
Right.
And then once that's all said and done, then it's back to bathtub gin.
Right.
And I've always wanted to try it, but,
Bad.
Gin, right?
Like, people are going to get their fucking booze one way or another. Like, and I think not only does Charlie Baker understand that, but the people in charge are like, hey, listen, like, it's going to sound kind of silly that we're labeling liquor stores essential, but at the same
but with
time,
the amount, for me personally, the amount of people, like, back to Andy's point, for me personally, the amount of people I know who have gone through the alcohol detox, if you're an alcoholic, right, like legitimately an alcoholic right now, you cannot go through a detox without medical help and support and without professional rehab. So, like, unfortunately, I do get that aspect of it entirely, because that's a scary thought. Like, I'm an alcoholic. I wasn't at that phase where I was ready and in a rehab facility. I'm alone, and now I can't get what's been sustaining me. And you can seize, you can die. Like, that's that on like a very medical, cold, dark level. That's a real life thing too, beyond the fact that, like, for all of us, yeah, we need, when we get home from work or when we're alone, like, we need that cheer, and we need to go on our Zoom calls with our friends and be like, cheers, here's a glass of wine. Like, also, like, there's a darker side to it, unfortunately.
People have much less hard time being bored when they're drunk. It's true. And if you're making us all stay the fuck home, let us have our booze.
Let us be a drunk.
Let us be fucking drunk, and let us smoke our weed and drink, and like, it's a freedom thing, and it's not harming anybody. I can see the argument against giving people another reason to leave the house, but if you don't give them their booze, they're going to leave the house and do something else anyway. Like, they're idle hands at the devil's playground. And going to the detox thing, hospital beds are for every, like, well, I forgot what the stat was, but I think it's for every 2,300 people, there is one hospital bed in the United States. And if those hospital beds really right now should be focusing on people with really, really bad health issues or giving birth or COVID-19, then why the fuck would we open up the possibility of filling up those hospital beds with people going through alcohol withdrawals when we could just keep our liquor stores open? Yeah. And then keep the economy kind of going as well. And I get why it's essential. If anybody has an argument against that, that's the argument I'm gonna give them. First of all, I'm gonna say stop wasting your money on and stop wasting your time and energy on arguing with me. Go do something positive. But that would be the first thing I say. If you really want to fucking have a spirited conversation about this,
meet me
let's talk about the reality of the situation here. You have a lot more shit to worry about rather than what fucking liquor stores are open right now. I mean,
right.
You know, it's just I think it's a practical decision, and I think it makes a lot more sense when you stop peeling the onion. You know.
So
Exactly.
Because we don't want to be too much of a downer all the time, I do have a funny rehab story.
Yes. How many times have you been in rehab?
Never. I think most of you know, not about a year and a half ago, I was in a fairly long-term relationship, and we split up. And so I was in the guest room at the time, and I was moving out. And one day let me just preface this. She was formally married and was divorced. And so as I'm moving out, there was a duffel bag like on the bed, and I'm like, I guess she left it so I could use it. So I filled the duffel bag, and it's a small duffel bag, but it's like a good size if you're like going for an overnight somewhere or need to bring a couple things. So it kind of became like my go-to duffel bag. Like I would grab it to, put a couple board games in them for going over some friend's house or, whatever.
8 heads in a duffel bag.
Yeah. This would fit maybe like 2.5. It was small. So like I brought this thing all over the place for good like 6 months. And then one day I went to put something in it and I realized it was from a rehab. And I've been walking around with this thing being like,
My rehab puzzles. Don't judge me.
And now
Andy,
you're
we're
the
always glad you had found the help you needed. Never just wanted to say anything.
And now you're the godfather of the bar talk fuck.
So it was very weird, but I thought it was funny.
So funny.
Lighthearted.
That's fucking great. Thank you.
So one thing.
You still have it?
Oh hell yeah, it's a good size.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
When else is he gonna carry 2.5 heads around?
Yeah.
I would hope under that realization you'd be like, well, it's still a fucking pretty sweet duffel bag. Like, all right, good.
Yeah.
Made me proud. Thanks,
Right.
brother.
And now at least I know when someone goes, hey, and I'm like, no, wasn't me. And they go, sure.
One day at a time. It's full of vodka. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's the insensitivity of this podcast.
Yeah, now we're back to normal.
Back on track.
So I'm sure Fish has been experiencing the limited supply of things of,
just a bit.
Yeah. Are the restaurants experiencing that too, or has the supply chain been interrupted at all, or what's the situation with that?
I mean, I know for a fact you can still get will call because I had to go to will call today at Cisco, and guess what? They dropped a pallet off outside the truck I was in, and I was like, oh, okay.
They just dropped it off and load your
Nicole,
shit?
I did the same thing. Finish your story, but I was probably right before you or behind you today at Cisco. But I want to hear your version.
So Mike, who is the owner, he drives the truck. So he was like, can you please take my truck, Cisco, to will call? He goes, they'll help you load it in, whatever. It's pouring. I drove to Cisco, and it's like, stop, call the number. They're like, okay, Bay 2. I drive into Bay 2. All of a sudden, I see this guy come out of a garage with a pallet, drop the pallet off in front of the truck, and back into the garage. The door goes down. I'm like, guess I'm loading this all into the truck myself. So I hop out in the pouring rain, and I was like, okay, loading it all in. I drove back to Mummy's, and I was like, shivering. I'm like, I backed it in. All the stuff is there. I had to load it myself. And they're like, that's new. I'm like, yeah. No one is loading stuff from will call. You can still get it, but they're not helping you.
And, they were never really supposed to. Like,
No.
They'd always say, like, we can bring it out to your car, but we can help when we're available to do so. Like, so I love Cisco Will Call. I think we're very blessed that we have them right in
100%.
Yeah, but, dude, with the weather today, holy shit. And then, so what they did, the last couple weeks was they had, a cop check you in. So you'd come in and there'd be a police officer. Yeah, there'd be a police officer, sitting right outside, the main entrance to will call. and they'd get on the walkie-talkie and be like, "What restaurant are you from?" And then they walkie-talkie you in, and I was like, "Yo, I'm not going to visit a prisoner right now. I'm picking up some chicken tenders." But it would be an extreme. They are handling a lot of the food that's going out to not just us, but nursing homes, stuff like that. So they're being careful, and I understand that.
Right.
But it was just eerie and just like a nice reminder, like not nice reminder, but just like a reminder that like
you're like, don't forget.
And then so I got to will call today, and they changed the system a little bit. They did like the bays. So like they separated at once, and you have to call right when you got to that like stop sign. Did you do that today? Yeah. And then the same shit, like the dude, I didn't have to sign anything. The dude just dropped everything off on that stoop.
Oh yeah.
And
like legit zoomed out of the garage.
Dude, the sun was out the second I walked out of my car to get that shit. Hell and sleep. It was like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's like, I can't believe
I wasn't having a bad enough day already, dude. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at least we do have will call though. But you know what? To answer Andy's question, like supply chain wise, I mean, I haven't really been using produce because I'm trying to avoid like RTE food, like stuff that hasn't been cooked, like that just goes directly from hand contact to plate. I've been personally avoiding that just because my kitchen's small and there's a lot of margin for error. So we're just cooking everything. But everything I've ordered has been there. I mean, they sent us frozen chicken once, and we don't usually deal with that. They sent us frozen chicken. But we just, we let it thaw out. We worked with it, and it is what it is. If everyone's going to bust my balls about having frozen chicken during this, then go fuck yourself. Get it from
where's
somewhere
that guy?
I was going to say, if anybody is busting
like,
your
really
balls during this time, don't even
But-
get me started.
But
Don't even get me started.
I thought other than toilet, I've been even getting toilet paper from Cisco, sanitizer, paper towels. Like it's limited, but I mean, I think, and I don't want to get into this whole spiel, but like I think the news preys off fear and clicks and things like that, and there's definitely a reason to be afraid and concerned right now and be careful. But at the same time, when you're surviving something like this, you kind of have to know for yourself, and you kind of have to see it for yourself, and you kind of have to adapt and overcome. You can't just take everything that is given to you and spoon-fed to you as, cut and dry. You do have to go out and get some fresh air and figure out your own way to survive. And, I've been told there's no toilet paper in any supermarkets for fucking 40 square miles, and I was at 2 supermarkets over the last 3 days that have had toilet paper. And, shit's calming down a little bit. There's only so much asses to wipe in the world. Everyone who has an ass has their toilet paper now. Like, you can go out and get toilet paper. You can go out and get chicken. You can go out and get takeout. But you just gotta be fucking careful. If they're saying now you need to wear masks and there are no masks, make a mask. My wife made 12 masks for my employees the other day, and luckily enough, I got a case that's coming in through Cisco on Monday, and I'm gonna share that with my neighbors, and we're gonna be okay. Like the panic, I think, is almost as detrimental as the virus, and I guess my point through this, one of my many rants, is keep a level head, stay on your shit, know where you're getting your news source for, and see it for yourself. Within reason, but see it for yourself. Like don't take everything for pound. Like go out there and not go out there and lick a doorknob, but you can go to the supermarket once a week if you don't have any predetermined decisions or conditions or a bad immune system, or if you're not 70 years old, this shit, the wheel's still gonna turn, man. Like that's just how I feel, and you're seeing the curve starting to flatten a little bit, and I'm worried about what happens after this. Is basically what I'm saying. The economy's got to keep fucking going, man.
It's interesting. I very much, when this all started, I had that kind of opinion of, do we really want to trade a health crisis for a financial crisis? And I had this conversation with multiple people, and I've heard it from a bunch of different sources and whatnot. And the interesting thing that I heard and that really resonated was, right now we're dealing with a health crisis and we're leading into a financial crisis. If we don't deal with the health crisis, we're going to be dealing with a financial crisis and a health crisis at the same time. You know, if we don't take care of the health crisis and there are more deaths, that's going to affect us financially as much as anything else. You know, dead guy can't buy a burger. And so it's like we have to kind of address the first most crucial and go, okay, we're going to take care of that other one when we do. But if we don't take care of this, we're going to be dealing with them both at the same time. And that's even worse.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with all that, and I understand that notion.
Don't get me wrong.
No, well, there's a part of me that's wondering if we're handling the health crisis the correct way. And, you know, we've got a little bit of, this might sound controversial, and I don't mean to be insensitive, and I don't 100% agree with this opinion, but it's one that I flirt with once in a while is, you know, if we know at this point we've got a pretty large bay of data that this mainly affects people with predetermined conditions and older people, and it doesn't really affect people with good health or young people like my little boy that I was just holding, then why quarantine everybody? Why not?
But here's the thing, Jordan, is we don't have good data. We have very, very small amount of data because we're not testing like we should. The best data that has been tabulated is probably out of Singapore, because they were aggressively testing everybody. But there's more factors on just not the mortality rate of the disease. If everybody gets sick all at the same time, you're going to flood the hospitals, and there's going to be less supplies, less doctors. The doctors are going to get sick, and more people will die than there should.
Right.
And that's why it's all about flat.
Right. Of course. And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
And we are doing an industry podcast, and, you know, and I'm not saying everybody should go out. Like I said, everybody should go out licking doorknobs. But, you know, all I'm merely saying is, you know,
Nicole.
If everybody just did what the fuck they were supposed to do, we'd be okay.
But it's like, I have to recircle back to the fact that most of my friends have been in quarantine, are in quarantine, don't understand it, and like don't understand the fact that, okay, I am essential. I'm doing curbside pickup. I'm coming in contact with so many people over and over and over and over again. And it is what it is. So now it's like, I feel like, okay, would I have gotten it by now? How would I know? Am I asymptomatic? I'm not going to get tested. I don't feel sick. I have no one in my life that's like, could be affected by it. But at the same time, every time you go to a car that like, and it differs, every single person whose car you do a curbside takeout to or whose house you deliver to also has a different understanding or thought process of how this could affect them. So you're dealing with everybody from full-on gloves, mask, put it in my trunk, I don't want to sign a receipt, nothing, to they'll walk right up to your front door of your restaurant and want to give you a kiss and a hug because they're a regular and sign their credit card receipt and don't care about the pen. But so it's almost even more confusing for your restaurant workers who are considered essential because we've blurred the lines at times so much to feel like we don't know. And also at the same time, you're in a restaurant with cooks, because as a consumer, you have to remember it's not just you consuming, it's the people who are making your food, to the people who are expediting and bagging your food, who are giving it to the curbside takeout people, who are bringing it out to your car, and then the curbside people bring the cash back, and then they deal with the phone people. Like, there's a lot of lines of lines and fire of employment dealing with this that are beyond the normal consumer's thought process, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that, like 100%. You know, the CDC is now recommending that everyone wear masks if they go out. But, you know, the medical professionals are taught how to deal with contagions. That's part of their job. Restaurant industry people are, taught to, at least on some basic form, how to handle things healthy. But the general public have no idea what they're doing. I was at the grocery store the other day, and these two women come out of the grocery store with masks on, stand next to each other, take the mask off to talk to each other, and I'm like, fuck you guys. You're not doing it right.
Defeating the purpose.
Yeah.
Let's not get into people at the grocery store. It's not the podcast, and I really don't want to rant for the next 40 minutes.
Oh, rant.
Because I swear to fucking God, I want cattle prod.
Like, Fish.
I
honestly, because I think your perspective is going to be.
I've basically been having an anxiety attack for the last week and a half because everything you guys deal with, it is so much infinitely worse for me because you guys you're in a building, you walk out, you put it down, you leave. I'm in the middle of the store all the time. I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who do not understand the concept of 6 fucking feet away from me. And it's...
Right. It's very hard when people, like, I'm sorry,
I'm invisible.
Okay, so this is one thing, like, when, I'm not even going to sugarcoat this. When Andy asked me about this podcast, I said, are you looking for people to be positive? Because I don't have a completely positive things to say. There are people who continue to treat workers like we're not human, and that's very hard emotionally, physically. It's hard for the grocery store people who are either stocking the shelves or checking you out. It's hard for the people who are doing curbside takeout for you to, like, either, and it's two extremes. It's either not have the precautions themselves, not have your own pen, not have gloves, not care, want me to deal with your dog in the front seat plus do you want me to open your back seat, put the food in, open the trunk, put the food in, shove my face into your car and be in your air, which we don't know about, and get that signature for your credit card receipt. It's a lot, and at the end of the day, you just really want to shake people sometimes and be like, we're not just providers, we're people too. And
you should be like the guy at Cisco. Just, like, go out, drop it on their hood, and, like, wave as you walk away.
Hey, honestly, Andy, it might get to that point.
Oh, Dan, your fire went out.
I know, I'm going to fix it. Here you go.
I hope it doesn't. I really hope
we're going to watch Trolls next.
So,
but Fish, I just want to say that, like, I get the feeling of not being human.
It's just I'm not even human.
Like,
I'm not there.
Like, being invisible.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like they're avoiding each other, and all of a sudden they'll just walk and, like, reach over my shoulder. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
I am here. I am not a petite person. I take up a lot of space, and I am pretty fucking visible. Please understand that you probably shouldn't be standing 4 inches away from me trying to reach the thing I'm literally putting on the shelf.
You should just start coughing on their hand.
Right.
I'm honest to God. I swear to God, I understand you wanting to tase me now because I want nothing more in life than a 6-foot-long cattle prod. So it's like, I'm sorry, if I can hit you with this, you're too close and it's your fault.
This is why Fish needs to be on the screen.
I am just, oh God, I just fucking hate everyone all the time.
You're the best. You're the best.
But, like,
right.
Something I've been thinking about too, so we're all trying our best. We're all adapting.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that.
Charles Barkley's on the camera. Sorry.
Oh, at least now we're definitely doing the video.
Yeah.
We have to release video now.
Say that, like, when I do curbside, people will be with their dogs and they're like, I'm sorry. I'm like, the dogs are actually the best part of my day.
Yeah, it's
so
like,
keep
please
bringing.
Send the dog. You don't have to just leave the dog.
We are way done with people at this point.
Yeah.
But what I will say, like, something I've been thinking about a lot is, we're still, I hate to say it, and it freaks me out. We're doing our best. We're still getting bad reviews.
That's wild. No reviews right now. Should be illegal.
I know, especially considering Yelp laid off like a third of its workforce.
Yeah.
So whether it's Facebook, it's whatever, we're still getting them, and we have redone the idea entirely of how we even serve food. So please please, dear God, consider the fact that the people you're getting takeout from, this is a new way of life completely for them. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm running from car to car, 25 cars down the line, trying to get you your food in the most efficient, safe way possible. And I think about, honestly, I was thinking about high school, and I'm like, what do I remember from high school? I will never forget the mean things people said to me. The nice things people say kind of just like float away in the distance, but like you remember bad things people say. So like remember in a time like now that those not so nice things you say to your restaurant workers who are you're trying to do your best. The not nice things are sticking around, and it's something that we have to go home with when like it's overshadowing the people who are thanking us and saying, you know, you're doing a great job, thank you so much, leaving us a good tip. Those people who say, you know, why couldn't you have done this? Why couldn't you have answered the phone faster? Why couldn't you have come to my car faster? Why didn't I get the extra blah, blah, blah? We're trying our best, and it just kind of amazes us when you can still find something negative to say in this time. I don't know if everybody else is dealing with that, but I certainly am. And it's a very hard emotional pill to swallow, because it's like no matter how good you do, you still have to go to sleep knowing that somebody complained about you trying to do your best, you know?
Yeah.
It's very telling about the state of affairs, and you can politically lean in whatever direction you want, but this is definitely the second national crisis of my lifetime. And when 9/11 happened, I didn't like the president at the time, but he pulled the country together. I mean, I was a telephone operator. People shit on us all the time. When 9/11 happened, every single person was nice. You know, people came together, and you looked over the little shit. And the little, like, anytime there was oh, don't worry about it, like, I understand stuff, you know. And that, in comparison, and this, again, not like downplaying 9/11, this is way worse. This has shut down our country.
Right.
And
like,
can't seem to get on.
I'm hoping that this person doesn't watch this podcast, obviously, because I'm going to blow it up, but like.
Don't use their name.
I would never.
Okay.
We got a bad review saying now is not the time to forego extra sauce.
Are you serious?
I'm completely serious, and it was a review that got written, that got sent to me as a manager, and I'm like, like, now's not the time I didn't meet, like, I can't even believe that this is an issue that is being dealt with. Of course we didn't want to forget your extra sauce. That's not something we ever want to do, is forget something you asked in an order. We want to make everybody happy. But at the same time, to take to social media when it's like the same fight, we ran to your car. We took down what car you're driving. We ran to the curb. We put it in your window. We're trying. We are trying our best. I think that's like what I just want to remind people, is that this is new for everyone, and we're all trying our best to make you happy. Please give us a little lenience.
I would say the majority of people like have been pretty there have been a couple outliers like you're talking about, Nicole, but the majority of people have been actually like pretty overly generous. We're only open for takeout 2 days a week. I put one person to answer the phones, which, like, to your point, we can only get to them quick enough. I have one phone line, goes right to a voicemail where they hear my annoying voice. And, you know, people are a little upset that they can't get through, but I'm just like, hey, you know, just keep trying. But other than that, like, my waitresses and servers and bartenders have all been, like, going home with a pretty good amount of tips. And I do feel that, and Andy, I'm right there with you, buddy. This feels a lot like 9/11, where for the most part, other than a few outliers like Nicole's talking about, for the most part, I feel like people are pretty much rallying. Like, everybody's getting together. They're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to, they don't want when this is all said and done, not to have a Mamma Mia's, a 3V, or a San Diego's, or a Stats, or a Speedwell to go to. They want to make sure those places are still there. So they're doing what they can. They're buying gift cards. You know, there's a few assholes that just don't get it, but it's the same assholes who were getting before this bullshit. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I'm like, you know, any doubt in humanity that I've had, and I've had a lot of doubts. I know Dan Mahoney, I got a lot of doubts in humanity. I just said that because you got up and you couldn't defend yourself. But
Smells had to leave. She's done with this fucking whining.
But there's been a lot of encouragement, man. Like, I think people are really rallying and sticking together. And, you know, Plymouth's, I can only speak from the restaurant community. Plymouth's restaurant community has been tight as long as I've been in it. We've always worked together, and there's always been a sense of sort of competition and stuff, but it was always friendly and playful. And
it's healthy competition.
Healthy, exactly. Thank you, Nicole. Healthy competition. And I feel like that got strengthened even more if there's one positive. I think there's a couple positives that might come out of this, but we're realizing that our relationships weren't fabricated. They weren't for the sake of marketing. They're genuine, and we genuinely care about each other's businesses. We want each other to succeed. We understand that we need each other. You can't get a cup of sugar from your neighbor if there is no neighbor. And we make Plymouth a destination. And I've been really, I've had a couple tough days since this happened, but I've been really encouraged by the restaurant people, the industry people, not just restaurant, retail too, craft beer seller. Just in general, everybody in our neighborhood sort of rallying around each other and being like, you know what? We're not going to let you fucking fail. We're all in this together. And I think, like 9/11, if anything positive comes out of this, it's true colors is sort of exposed. And I think deep down inside, when you got nothing to lose and the insecurity is put aside, most people are genuinely good fucking people deep down and are going to do the right thing and want what's best for each other. That's what I've been feeling. Again, I have bad days.
I'm so happy for you, Jordan.
You don't feel that?
Those are the customers you're getting.
No, well, that's not necessarily all the customers. And I don't check Yelp reviews long time ago. And there's plenty of episodes of Bar Talk where you hear my rant on Yelp.
Well,
I don't need that toxicity in my life.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Sure.
Jordan, do you feel that is because you own one restaurant, so the customers know you, where Nicole is working for Mamma Mia's, not a corporate chain per se, but I don't know who owns Mamma Mia's. So Nicole, no offense, Nicole, is just a face in the crowd, where opposed to Speedwell or New World or Beer Cellar, I'm going to support my
Good point.
Mamma Mia's is I'm going because I want Italian food. Woman, get in here, drop that on my passenger side car while I cough and
Yeah, people tend to have a lot bigger balls when they don't realize who's going to punch them back, and there's definitely some sense in that, and that makes a lot of sense. But I think the family that, and I don't know them personally, but
I love
Nicole
them.
the V's, they speak, they're well regarded in the community. They're the people that have been funding all the Little League teams over the last fucking 30 or something years.
Awesome.
And all the, go ahead, Nicole. You could speak more to that.
I will say,
I wasn't poo-pooing on them. I just mean from the
No, 100%. I get that. What I'm saying is just like, I just feel like, I want, I'm just looking maybe for, and like I said, we have plenty of customers who are rallying behind us in such a positive way. But it's like, if I could reach out to those who maybe aren't as aware that this is new and this is hard and we're struggling to provide our best service, please just bear with us. That's the message I would send. Like, when I ask you what type of car you're going to pick up your curbside food in, and I don't necessarily see you right away. Please don't call and yell that you're outside, or please don't complain. Like, we're trying. I just want everybody to know we're doing our best. And like I said, it's like in high school. I will never forget like the mean things people said, because that's a very trying time. So right now is a trying time. So it's kind of like anything you say negative to us sticks with us a little harder. So I just want people to rally around the people who are still doing it, and especially like I'm a manager, but the servers and bartenders who are still, in the restaurants every day, trying to do their best, trying to please their regulars. Just remember that this isn't an easy time. This isn't something we're taking for granted. It's something that's serious, and I think every day we all look at each other and we're like, we're doing our freaking best, guys. Just understand we're doing our best.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get that across to some people. And you know what is weird? It's kind of like when I was in the downtown, Sam's or 3V, there's a much thicker downtown allegiance, I would almost say. Like, those are the people who are going out regularly. They're stopping at all the spots. They have their favorites. When you kind of move out of that, and I hate to, because like downtown, you're still in a suburb, but when you kind of move to like these, like away from that, I almost feel that it's even harder, because there's not that camaraderie of like, all right, like on a regular basis, when you go out, you bounce around to different places, you have your allegiance to different places, they're open late, blah, 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 whatever. Like, right now the location I'm in is a little bit farther from downtown, so it's like they're used to seeing the same faces, getting the same service, getting the same attention, and even just having somebody answer the phone that they don't know is hard for them. Like, I don't know. I've had a very, and to Jordan, like, you posted a post today on Facebook that I felt hard. Like, we're lonely, we're hurting, we're struggling too. So it's kind of just like, remember that when you call in, that we're all lonely and struggling too.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I had a weak moment today with that post, but it was.
I felt it hard.
It was a good post. It was sad.
It was honestly like, I felt it so hard that I was so excited that you kind of posted today and we got the chance to talk today, because I'm like, wow, you're appealing to myself as somebody who's only been in the restaurant industry, who's feeling these feelings, and you're just kind of like, you've been really good about exposing, that it's not just sunshine and roses for all of us.
And you shouldn't feel bad that it was a weak moment, because it was genuine and it was heartfelt.
100%.
Yeah. And it's, and to kind of relate this a little bit to myself, we've been doing podcasts for like 3 years now, and not every time I sit down and interview someone do I want to. You have to be like, hey, how's it going? And, you do those videos.
Do that again.
Hey, how's it going?
I need that on the internet just right now.
It's pretty good.
But, you do those videos, once or twice a week where you're like, hey, we're open family and blah, 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 blah. And, it's not you, but you're not like that every day. You're not like that every second of every day. And you shouldn't feel bad for not being like that.
Right.
It was a human moment, and I think it resonated with a lot of people. So I don't think you should feel bad or guilty or anything. It was just, it is what it is.
I'm glad to hear that.
And
I don't know, man. I feel like
Fish, I'm complimenting Jordan. I need to get out.
Yeah, again, you're right. This is the last episode we did. You complimented me.
I need to get out of the house and hate people.
No. I've just been trying so hard, because being negative is so much easier than being positive, and it's not a lot to be fucking positive about right now. I'm very blessed. I had a beautiful wife, beautiful kid that's sitting next door, in the next room, eating Doritos and watching Blippi right now, and it's usually where I would be, but I'm happy to be with you guys. But I'm very, very lucky, and Speedwell is going to survive this. I know that for a fact, so I'm lucky about that too.
Which I'm sure everybody is excited about. I'm personally excited.
I hope so. But you know, we all have our dark days, and you know, I was just feeling it today, man. Like the weather's fucking shitty, and my restaurant, you shut the heat off and shut the heat off every night and the lights and keep them off as long as we can, because why pay the utilities if you're not using them? So I'm sitting in a cold, dark restaurant every day when we're not open, and it sucks, and that's how I felt today. But I was really thinking about how much this is going to change the dynamic of everything us in our area have built and worked so hard to build. Plymouth was fucking thriving, and I have no doubt it will again. But in a weak moment, you start thinking about, what if that's not going to happen? What if we can't rebuild this? How many restaurants are we going to lose? And I felt sad, man. I just wanted to share that I may appear positive and like I have no worry in the world sometimes on Facebook, because I'm marketing and I'm trying to sell chicken, and I want people to support me and feel happy doing so, because I'm this clown, I'm like a fucking game show host. And that's how I approach my Speedwell position, as someone that not only makes people happy with my food, but makes people happy that they're supporting someone that's a good person. You know what I mean? I think I am a good person, but
sorry,
I'm not the only one out there.
Yes, 100%.
No matter what Andy said.
Andy.
Yes, Jordan. We know that you think you're a good person.
There are so many other restaurants and good people. And
yeah. Jordan's a good person, and Nicole's essential. I get it.
I just started worrying a little bit, man, because 4 months ago I'm stressing about stupid shit like the price of fry oil and losing my mind off of that. And fuck, if I only knew where we would be right now. And I'd be worrying about my neighbors, and like I need a lot of people. And I said this at the beginning, I think, in a light, like, I get other restaurants are competition. I get that. Like, I am essentially friendly, lightly competing against everybody. I'm competing against Nicole. I was competing against Dan. I'm still kind of competing against Dan. I get people from the South Shore. But like,
because of the looks, buddy. That's all.
But I need the restaurants in Plymouth and the businesses in Plymouth to survive, because they're the bait. They're what makes us a destination. They're what makes Plymouth unique. And my biggest fear, besides the Walking Dead scenario where everybody goes out and gets a gun and robs each other, is that some of these businesses aren't going to be open after this. And I'm just trying to keep people positive. And I felt like if I maybe shared some humility instead of pretending like I'm waking up happy every day, that people would be like, how is he fucking happy every day? I'm fucking struggling. I'm struggling too. And that's, again, I don't like to show weakness, but that's why I shared that post, because I'm not fucking invincible, man. We're all dealing with this equally.
Right.
From working in the grocery store, I'd much rather do what I'm doing right now than what fucking Fish is doing.
I'll be honest, I'd rather do what you're doing than what I'm doing. It's
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so let's touch on one more topic, and then I want to do kind of like a quick fire round before we hit last call. So when this is over, I had this conversation with Carl. Do you think there is going to be a Mardi Gras end of the world style party that hits Main Street, or do you think it's going to be a slow...
That's my dream. Let the musicians play.
Nicole, that's your dream every Friday.
Pandemic.
And the other 6 days too.
Or is it going to be
let us drink our mudslides, let us be happy, let us go to the beach. Like, I sincerely hope.
Is everyone going to rush out that first weekend and tear it up? Or is it going to be...
I don't think it's going to be a rush out. I think that people who are maybe a little bit more secure in their health and well-being will rush out. It might take a little bit while for a mass rush out, but I think that, like, everybody who is secure, especially like if you're even a little bit in the Facebook community with like downtown Plymouth and and the local musicians, we're ready to unite and like be better than ever. And I've noticed that. So I'm hoping that anybody who has a sense of stability and security in their health and well-being will rush out. That's my hope. I can't say that right now everything's uncertain, but that is definitely my hope, is that that first week is just going to be inundated with, you know, cheer. But at the same time, you have to remember people have been out of work and people are depressed and people are suffering from a lot of other things. So it's very 50-50 in my head. I don't know how everybody else feels.
Oh, I think it's gonna be bananas at my place at least. So we all young.
Your place is always bananas.
It is. But like, it's all 20, like early 20s, like mid 20s kids. They're coming out like fucking like, shooting. Like that's it. It's gonna be wild. So I'm terrified and excited all at the same time. So
I hope so, and I hope you're both right. But I have a feeling that there's going to be some mandates to half our capacity, make sure we don't have live music, limit our hours for sure. And I honestly, and like I said before, as far as my feeling on our governor, like I think all that's necessary. I as much as I would love to flip a switch and open up the floodgates and let people put on a full-on Mardi Gras, just because they say we're allowed to open back up to the public doesn't mean we're fully back open. This is going to take a while, and it's until we can really fully open and pack it in like we used to relentlessly, you know, we're not going to be able to have that experience. And it kind of sucks, but people will have house parties and stuff, and it's going to be, I'm not trying to discount that when we get to the point where we can open restaurants back up, that it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day.
Regardless of if it's droves or if it's half of what we usually have.
Yeah. Exactly. It's going to be something.
Nice to be asses and seats, being happy to be there.
Exactly. It's going to be hope. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully people are responsible about it and it's not like a riot.
They won't be. They're not going to be.
Yeah, they're not.
Not in Dan's world. Not in
You're not either. I'm not either. What the fuck am I saying? I would have fucking raged. But
I've already told people that I am sorry for things that I say and will do on that day.
Honestly,
so at least you're a long-term thinker, because this is going to be a while. But when that time does come, I hope, and to kind of parlay off of Nicole's sentiment, I hope that people are kinder. I hope that people remember this and don't forget it. And I hope that in the future, when we're faced with something like this, that people react a little differently and are more respectful, at least immediately. I get it's survival, but treat people better. And I hope when we come out of this, we all have a greater appreciation, not just, you know, obviously for everything, but as I said when we first started this is a restaurant podcast. I hope people have more respect for the people in the service industry and the hospitality industry, not just the customers and the guests, but the employees as well, that realize that this is a social job and this gives us the ability to interact with people we would never be able to interact with in other jobs. Gives us the ability to, you know, be around like-minded people, crush beers, you know, crack jokes, and be a little lowbrow sometimes without being frowned upon about it by our coworkers. We are in a truly unique, amazing industry. It's sort of like a fraternity or a sorority, and we all miss each other painfully right now. And I really hope when we come back from this that the appreciation doesn't wear off within a couple weeks. I hope this is something that, if there's any positive to come out of it, people remember forever and be like, fuck, this shift sucks. We're short help. We ran out of this item. We ran out of this. But God damn it, I'd rather be here than in fucking quarantine right now. That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm hanging on. And I don't know if that seems a little bit too sugar-coated and, like I quoted earlier today, sprinkles and rainbows, but that's really what I'm hanging my hope and my love on, is that this changes people for the good. And I think it will. I think we're realizing there, like I said before, there are more good people than bad people. And it's much more difficult to be an asshole than it is to just fucking go with the flow and do the right thing.
All right, so let's do a couple rapid-fire questions. What is the one thing that you guys think will not carry over from pre-COVID to post-COVID? Go Jordan.
Alcohol to go in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of that shit as soon as possible.
Right.
I think there's gonna be, you get serve safe tested and stuff like that.
Yes.
For not just alcohol serving. I'm talking more about sanitation. I think those rules are gonna greatly change, and I think prices are gonna go up on food because manufacturing plants and stuff with this food that we're buying in bulk are going to have to abide by more rules and hire more people, and it's going to affect pricing in the long run. And it sounds like an insensitive sort of way to look at it, but as a business person as well, I like to just say I show up every day, crush beers, and sell chicken, but I got to pay my bills. And that's kind of what I do. But
that should be a t-shirt.
I got to pay my bills too. I have a sweatshirt that says I fry chicken and crush beers, and I'm trying to convince you that I don't do that. But I am a little bit worried about the ramifications in the industry and in the economy after this, financially. However, I do understand, and I will also endorse some of the exercises so we never have to deal with this again, because I'm a long-term thinker. And I never, ever, ever, as a business owner or as a family man, ever want to have to go through this again. So if I got to pay $10 more a case for a 40-pound case of chicken, so I know somebody's making sure that it's handled correctly, I am more than fucking welcome to do that. But I think people need to be prepared for that, because it's not just in the food industry. It's across the board. It's medical. It's everything. It's going to be more expensive. There's going to be more people with hands on. No pun intended, sanitized hands on. I know I touched my face a lot today. I got hand sanitizer right there. No worries. But shit's gonna change. Like this, I was having a conversation with a fellow restaurant owner today about whether the handshake would be dead after this, and I don't think it's gonna go that far, because I personally judge somebody by their handshake, and I'm a handshake kind of guy. I hate signatures. I love handshakes, and I think a lot of people feel the same. But to say that we're gonna come out of this in a month and forget it ever happened and just go back to the way things were, you're absolutely fucking nuts. You're oblivious. You're naive.
Not in any of our lifetimes.
So Dan, Jordan obviously doesn't know what rapid fire means.
I was gonna say that, but I'm glad you did.
You already knew that. Sorry.
You're gonna be like the guy on ESPN, just stop muting people.
I can't. Dude, come on, man. I'm sorry. You read my Facebook post, like all 7 paragraphs. You knew it was.
I loved it, Jordan. I loved it. I felt it.
So, I'm the fucking worst. I'm the worst.
Dan, what's not going to carry over?
Sporting events. People aren't going there for a long time.
Oh, great answer.
Yeah,
There
Nicole.
you go. Straight to the point, Jordan. Take notes.
See,
Come on, I wanted you to
rapid
elaborate.
fire.
I wanted you to elaborate.
Nicole?
All right, I'll talk to you about it in private, I guess.
Exactly.
What's not carrying over?
Yeah.
Curbside pickup. It's a pain in my balls.
So do you think that's going to be the thing forever?
What not carrying over from now till
pre-COVID-19?
Oh, I think there's going to be a surge in, and I hate to say this because I don't want it to sound like any restaurant people are gross, but like I think more people who deal with takeout after the food preparation portion will wear gloves.
Yeah. Fish?
Honestly, ideally people using their goddamn sick time. Like the whole mental culture of, I feel fine. It's like, I don't feel great, but I don't feel bad if not go to work. No, stay the fuck home.
Stay home.
You don't need to be here. You don't need to share. Nobody is so vital to their job that they need to drag their headachy, runny-nosed, I sound like shit because I'm fending off the flu. Great, stay home, recover. Taking 2 days now is going to end up, I'd rather lose 2 days than have you do 75% of your job, get half your coworkers sick for like a week and a half. It just stay home, people. This is why we have sick time.
Yeah. I think we are done of a time where it's abnormal to see people with a mask on. I think you will see people continue to wear masks for a long time, well beyond what the CDC says. I mean, we all see pictures of, like, China and other countries in Asia that wear them on the regular. I think that will be a more commonplace thing for us.
Yeah. You've seen that for a little while in other countries.
Yeah. All right, Jordan. Rapid fire.
Don't let him go first. That's all.
All right. Yeah, don't. Actually, I'll tell you what. I really got to pee. So ask me right now, and then I'll answer it, and I'll run, and I'll get right back.
What is the first thing you're going to do once this is quote unquote lifted?
Drink a beer. I haven't had a beer I've been on keto for almost 3 months. I haven't had a fucking beer. As soon as this thing's lifted, I'm slugging a Mayflower 400 IPA, motherfuckers. I
want to pee. Dan?
Going to hang out with my friends, I guess. It's a group of people that I want to see.
Yeah.
And drinking beers.
Just drinking beer.
It goes hand in hand.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm taking all of my girls to East Bay outside because it's gonna be summer, and we're gonna get drunk and we're gonna dance.
Fish.
He has the same answer as Nicole.
He's gonna take all his girls. Fish, you have girls.
All his girls.
I dance.
He's going out with his bitches and drinking.
Honestly, I'm gonna go. I'm going to go hard the other way. I seriously want to rent like a cabin and just fuck off for a weekend and just deal with no one, because I'm not quarantined. I'm constantly out, and I need some fucking downtime to just not deal with humanity for at least 72 hours. Like, no friends, no family, no anyone.
Can I interject and say that that's the huge thing for people who are in our position, is that other people don't understand the fact that, like, we need a day off. They're like, you need a day off? We all have 7 days off a week for however many weeks. I'm like, yeah.
Nicole, you're off frame.
Huh?
You lost the camera.
I lost it? I lost the camera?
There you go. Now we can see.
Okay, you're back. You went way up.
We saw your ceiling light.
Sorry, I'm back. Hopefully. My battery's on like 1%. I'm hoping I don't lose it completely. No, but it's like, it is funny to think that we're people who are dying for a day off. I haven't had a single day off this week. So I totally get Fish's point. Like, I just want to relax.
And that's tough. I haven't been
funny.
I just haven't been alone. There's always someone in the house. There's always someone at work. I haven't had a full day where I'm just
I feel that though.
Not forced to socialize. It's like I don't want to interact with people. Literally the greatest vacation I ever took. I was house sitting for my dad. I took a week off from work. I literally called out for peace because I realized I hadn't spoken for 3 days. There was that moment
I want to use my customer service voice for
I
week.
dialed, and it took me a second to respond when they picked up, because it's like, I've kind of forgotten how to do this. I don't know how to talk.
Find my voice.
I need a pizza.
So
basically, yeah, it was just I literally called for pizza because I couldn't fucking figure out how to talk to people.
My new goal.
I want to ditch my.
Fish, you act like you talked to people before all this shit, dude.
I work retail. I can't avoid them.
You talk baseball, but otherwise you never say shit.
That's why I have Andy.
You?
Andy is my social crutch.
Thank you so much.
My personal goal when this is all over and Fish has done his vacation, to get Fish drunk enough with you guys that he dances.
Yes, with Nicole.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So because Nicole's on 1%, and we've been at this, I think, over an hour. Let's do last call. So last call, we go around and check in with everyone and promote what they're promoting. There's not much to promote, but Nicole, we're going to start with you.
There's a ton to promote, Andy. Come on.
Sorry.
Hurry up before you 1%.
Jesus. It's always the 1%.
I'm going to say promote curbside pickup right now, all the Mamma Mia's locations. Please don't forget 3V. Please, please, please don't. I'm very excited for us to reopen eventually. But until then, please don't forget all your Mamma Mia's locations are doing takeout and delivery. And overwhelmingly, I'm going to say, please just be nice to everyone and anyone in a restaurant doing their best. Be thankful, be grateful. We really appreciate it when you thank us for what we're doing because we're not sure, we're trying our best, and we're exhausted.
Jordan Chabot, over to you.
Oh, shit. I'm going to promote the craft beer cellar. A lot of restaurants are given the ability to sell alcohol right now, which is awesome, and like everybody's got to kind of look out for themselves. But craft beer cellar is sort of the epicenter of downtown Plymouth. We record there honestly all the time. Tatum's the owner. She's a huge part of the community, and she's got a beautiful little store with amazing beer, and a lot of people just going for the 30 racks right now. And I just I don't want people to forget about her. She's open every day from 11 to 7. She does curbside. You can pay over the phone. She even special orders stuff. She's still getting in fresh shipments of beer all the time. She got a shipment of Bissell Brothers and Alchemist, Heady Topper last week and stuff like that. Dude, she's still fucking crushing it. And but I just don't want people to forget she's there. When I talked earlier about I want to make sure people are still around when this is all said and done. Craft beer cellar is imperative for Plymouth success. And I want people to know they can go there, mix 6, curbside. She's got cheese, she got salami. So please go check out Craft Beer Cellar on Main Street in Plymouth. Go visit my girl Tatum, 11 to 7 every day. Andy's an employee there. He knows, puts a lot of love in that space as well. And please give her some support.
Dan Mahoney, over to you.
Well, unfortunately, due to this pandemic, my art contest in Speedwell's bathroom had to be postponed.
You would think so.
Take this time to say
somebody's drawing in there,
right? So just draw on the side of their building, and I'll paint. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Well, you can because you don't own that.
I don't own the building.
Yeah, fucking draw on their building. Who cares? Just make sure you sign it so we can send you your T-shirt. And yeah, we'll put window chalk design.
I hate you. I hate you so much. Social distancing is not far enough.
What? So we'll postpone the art contest for future notice. Maybe we'll go back into it in June, hopefully.
I hate you.
You know, we're going to get that T-shirt that says Jordan's crushes wings and beer.
Go away.
All right, Fish, over to you, man.
All right, I'm going to pimp the old Colony cast.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's always been kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the Nibira Podcast Network. For the last couple of weeks, we have kind of found its footing as kind of a local history show with our new co-host, Hannah, who brings a lot of local knowledge, and she is a fantastic storyteller. And I cannot recommend her work enough. She honestly, she makes the show so much better than Andy and I could.
Yeah, 100%.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not really saying much, but
I was gonna say that, but I was like, I'll be nice this time.
Look, I admittedly, we set a low
this entire time.
We set a low bar, but she clears it by like a lot. Like we are mediocre. Like 2 of us are mediocre. She brings us all the way up to pretty goddamn good. Okay, she's good at what she does.
Wow,
I do a pretty good job of listening to the Inebriart network, and especially now like my drives and the boredom and all that. But I haven't caught quite up to hers, so I'll make sure I will.
You definitely should.
Absolutely need. You absolutely need to listen to like the Burial Hill and Plymouth Rock episodes. They're like the 2 of the last 3. She's fantastic.
Listen to them tomorrow. Got my word.
Yeah, she's been on the last 4 episodes, and they've all been great, and it's really found its footing. I mean, even Bar Talk took a while to kind of figure out exactly what we were doing and what it was.
You had to wait for me to get here, that's why.
We're waiting on Dan.
Yeah.
But this is that same kind of moment where it's legitimately, hey,
hey, dude.
Last call.
So it's
last call.
It's legitimately found its footing, and it's honestly, all podcasts are down because people aren't commuting, people aren't at work. But Old Colony Cast is way, way, way up in downloads, so definitely check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Right, Jolie?
It's not.
Now he's quiet. Are you sure he's your kid? He's awful quiet.
Say hi. Say hi, Andy.
Hi, Eddie.
Hey.
Say hi, Dan.
Hi, dear.
Say hi, Fish.
Joel.
Hi, hi,
Say hi,
Hey,
Doggy.
Joey.
hi, Doggy.
Snarls.
The
Yeah, we lost Nicole there. I think her 1% went up.
Yeah, Shelly, you know, at least she wasn't exaggerating. Like, she legit was on, like, a timer.
She did her last call, and then she poof.
Yeah, that's kind of why I did her first.
She went to Margaritaville.
So my last call, I just want to say nothing unlike a crisis brings things in perspective about how important people are, how important your loved ones are in your community. And I love our listeners. I love all you guys, even Fish. I'll be nice to him. But I miss all you guys, and I can't wait to get back to downtown Plymouth and recording in person and not sitting in a room by myself, talking to a computer, hang out with you guys at Speedwell and crush wings and beers, and you know, it was a huge part of my life, and I miss it endlessly. So that's my last call. And
I miss you, brother.
For our listeners, you can email us at bartalkcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on all the social medias at bartalkcast. And just thank you for taking the time out to listen. This has been kind of a rough episode for all of us, I think. And
Yeah, it's tough.
yeah, and we're going to keep recording until this is over, and then we'll go back to normal getting drunk in public. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks for listening, and I'll see everybody next time.
Thank you, guys.
You.
Woo.